Most personal finance talk is about saving, budgeting, investing, stop eating that avocado and toast. But not a lot of people want to say the truth, which is you need a higher income to quickly build wealth. Malaysia is known to have low wages, right? Our average, our median wage is quite low. But the good news is I do have a lot of friends and family who are earning well into the 5 figures, which means that it is possible to have a higher income. And I will talk about this more later in this video. So today, I'll be breaking down why how much money you earn is way more important than trying to obsess over your savings and your investing and your budgeting and stuff. And I'll also try to be as honest as possible, which means it could be a bit harsh. Let's get to it. Now, first of all, I want to say that saving money is important for sure, but it can only do so much. I know that there are stories like that janitor who, worked a minimum wage job and then by the time he retired, they found out they had $8 million. But honestly, this is such an extreme case. And I think it's a lot harder to do this on a low salary compared to just trying to find other ways to make more money. For every one person who has a story like this guy named Ronald Reed, I'm sure that there are 100 other people who earn their millions by just having a higher income. Let's say you save 500 ringgit a month, which is not too bad. So let's say you do this consistently every single month for 30 years and you get a 6% return on your investment. At the end of the 30 years, by the time you retire, whatever it is, the portfolio value would be 475,000 ringgit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a small amount. This is nearly 500,000 ringgit. It's nearly $500,000. But if you're being true to ourselves, this is nowhere close to being financially independent or even having a comfortable retirement. And once we factor in inflation, in 30 years' time, this might not be as much as it is today. Again, I don't want to discourage you guys from saving or investing money. It doesn't mean that just because your salary is 4,000 ringgit, you don't have to save anything because it won't make a difference. But I just want to show you guys the reality of things. And if you just try to save or invest more money by cutting down your costs, the thing is, the lowest your cost can be every single month is zero. That's the maximum you can cut. You cannot cut anymore. Whereas if you're looking at growing our income, there's no cap to it. It's unlimited. You can earn as much money as you want. With higher income, things are just really different. First, let's talk about the obvious, which is you'll be able to save and invest more money every single month. So let's say instead of doing 500 ringgit per month that you save and invest, now you can increase that to 2,000 ringgit per month because you have a high salary. So at the end of the 30 years, assuming the same rate of return, your portfolio would now be 1.9 million ringgit. This is a lot better. So overall, you just get to save more money, you get to invest more, things compound quicker, and at the end of the day, you will just have a much bigger nest egg for you to retire. So that's the obvious part. I think most of you guys already know. The more money you can earn, obviously, the more money you can save and invest. But in my opinion, at least, there are two other very, very important benefits to having a higher income. One is that you'll be able to take on more risk. So I talked about this before in a video, but the higher your income, the more money you have, the more willing or comfortable you will be with taking on more financial risk with a higher risk reward. So this can grow your portfolio even quicker. And that's pretty much how the rich just gets richer. They have money, they're willing to take risks, the risk pays off, they get even more money. If you guys want to watch that video, I'll leave the link right here. And the final benefit is very important to me. So if you have a higher income, you will be able to not only go on your financial independence journey, saving for retirement and all that, you can do that while still enjoying now. Because you have more money, you can still spend and save an equal amount. So I can't speak for other people, but honestly for me, I don't want to be at a point in life where I am so extremely frugal, trying to save money, trying to hit financial independence, that I'm living a miserable life right now. To me, there's no point trying to hit 3 million, 5 million, 10 million ringgit by 40 years old if I'm going to go through a miserable, 20s and 30s. I think that is the prime time for us to also enjoy life. This is just my personal view. I know some people who can also enjoy life while living on very little money. It's just that to me, it won't really work out. I want to go on holidays. I do want to eat out and, do fun things. And a lot of these things, they do cost us money. So yeah, having a higher income lets us not only save for the future, but also enjoy now. If you are someone on a lower income, then you really have to think, you really have to balance that out. If I want to save for the future, 1,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit a month, I will need to sacrifice a lot more today. So I had this whole realization about having a higher income, how important it is, back when I just started this YouTube channel in 2020. So I started work in 2018 as a fresh grad. I think my salary was quite decent. I started off at 4,000 ringgit, but at the most, I could save 500 ringgit a month. Maybe if I'm really pushing it, I could save 800 or 1,000 ringgit a month. But once I started earning more money from this YouTube channel, once I started earning, a few thousand ringgit extra every single month, then my savings and investments really started to ramp up. So back then, I obviously went through some lifetime inflation myself as well. You know, it was really cool, really fun having this extra cash. I kind of regret that because I went overboard, but still, overall, I managed to save and invest more money. And that's pretty much when it hit me. Throughout my life, I needed to constantly find more and more ways to earn more money just so that I could not only invest and save more, but also, like I said, to enjoy life along the way. So I talked about all the benefits of having a higher income, and I'm sure every single one of you guys watching this video would want a higher income. I mean, who wouldn't? So let's talk about how we are going to look at different ways to try and grow our income. One way is to look at side hustles. So for me personally, I decided to look at content creation because I had a passion in personal finance, I guess. I did a lot of reading, I had quite a bit of knowledge, so I thought, why not just share it out there? Honestly, when I started this, I didn't think it would bring me in that much money, but yeah, it kind of surprised me. But still, even if personal finance or content creation is not your thing, there are just so many different ways that people can make money online these days. I did make a video about that as well. If you guys are interested, you can check it out here. Then you can go the self-employment route or even having your own business. So this is what I'm doing right now. To be honest, this path is a bit more risky because there's no guarantees that it will work out and you're giving up a stable salary by having a full-time job. But the thing is, if you manage to do it well, if it works out for you, then your income can really skyrocket. And the biggest thing is your income potential is almost unlimited. You can scale it as much as you want. The income that I managed to get in 2024 and what I'm doing right now in 2025, I really don't know how long I will have to work in my previous job to get to this stage. I would say maybe 10, 20 years down the line, maybe I could get this kind of salary. But yeah, by going through this route, by taking on the risk, and of course being lucky, being successful and stuff, I managed to really grow my income. But I know that a lot of these things are a bit unrealistic, so not everyone's going to go the self-employment route, and maybe not everyone wants to do a side job. Maybe they have a very demanding full-time job and they want to spend their extra time just relaxing or spending time with friends and family, which is why this final option is the most realistic, which is just trying to climb that corporate ladder in whatever job you're currently working at. I'm not gonna lie, if you're currently earning 3,000, 4,000 ringgit a month, then it's gonna be extremely difficult for you to achieve your financial independence. It's not impossible, but it's just going to be a lot harder. You'll need to look at upskilling yourself or maybe even changing roles completely. Let's say currently you're working in customer support. Honestly, I don't think you can climb very far there. It's not like you can earn a very, very high income. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Let's say you're currently doing that and you don't see a future where you can grow your income consistently. Then you need to think about upskilling yourself, maybe even changing roles completely. There are certain sectors, certain roles out there that do pay more than others. Or let's say in your current role, maybe now you're not earning that much because you're still kind of new in it, but you do see a future. You do see, a career path where you can slowly climb that and earn a higher salary, then you need to start pursuing that or maybe even just change jobs to get a nice salary bump. You gotta be a real try-hard at work. So personally speaking, from my experience at least, I don't think how much knowledge you have or how smart you are is that important in the workforce. To me, it's all about attitude. It's all about wanting to learn new things, willing to always say yes whenever something new pops up, or even taking on more responsibilities, even though you're not getting immediately rewarded. I think all of these things really helped me out back when I was still working a full-time job. I remember whenever there was a new project, whenever there was, extra work to take on, I would always just say yes because I was a try-hard. I was trying to, impress my bosses back then. But in the end, it did work. In my first few years of working, I got promoted in consecutive years and I changed companies and I got another salary bump after that. Having said all of this, I do acknowledge that saving and investing is still important. I mean, there's no point for us to earn 30,000, 40,000 ringgit a month if we're just going to spend it all, increase our lifestyle, start buying a new house, start buying a new car, then have nothing left over. Of course, saving and investing is still important. It's not just about saving money. You don't want to save money and just leave it in a bank account earning you nothing. You want to also invest that money and get it to work for you. But like I said, even though those two things are important, those two things can only come after fixing your income. You need to have a high income first, and then you think about how much can you save, how much can you invest. Like, I'll give you guys an example. If you're currently earning 20,000 a month and you're saying, oh, I can't save any money, at least you can be helped. You can say, okay, I'm spending too much money now. Where can I cut? Where can I cut? Where can I cut? If you're currently earning 2,500 ringgit, there's not much that can be helped. By the way, if any of you guys have a high income, if you are saving a lot of money, you're not making your money work for you yet, then you might want to consider investing. You'll need a broker for that. Check out Mumu. They are both licensed and regulated in Malaysia, and they have a very, very good user interface. To me, it's extremely easy to use. You guys can sign up using my link. I'll leave it in the description of this video, and you get some nice rewards and support this channel if you sign up and deposit some money. So yeah, if you are currently feeling like you're stuck financially, or you're living paycheck to paycheck every single month, money comes in, money goes out, then yeah, maybe it could be a spending or a budgeting issue. But just don't spend so much time. Don't try and crack your brain trying to figure this out. Especially for those of you guys like me who are still in your 20s, in your 30s, maybe even early 40s, the maximum effort, all of our time should be spent trying to increase our income rather than trying to, optimize your budget further, right? It won't make that much of a difference compared to just straight outright earning more cash every single month. So give it a think. What is one way that you can increase your income in 2025? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Give me a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.